And we are back. I'm back. I apologise for missing last week. Been a busy time for me. A bit ill now as well, so I'll let the lads do most of the talking today. But yeah, how are you both? And how did you both do last week, Bish?
I'm on fire. I am absolutely on fire. 2 back-to-back weeks. I've hit my last 8 out of 10 player props. Over 10% ROI. You need to be following me right now. I'm hot. But yeah, I landed all 3. Joe Mixon made us sweat a little bit. He limped out of the game in the third quarter, but came back in and did enough to smash his yardage. He got an early touchdown. Will Levis got his 2 touchdown passes that we needed. And Bucky Irving, well, that was a very early win on that one. 76 all-purpose yards. I think he hit a run of 43. So, he was nearly cleared that in one run. So the only thing that let me down and let you down, boys, was my touchdown scorer. Nico Collins didn't quite come in, but like I said, apart from that, I'm feeling good at the minute. It's flowing, so hopefully I can make it a hat trick of weeks this week.
Tag, how are you?
I'm good, mate. Thanks to Bish. Both weeks I've slotted in Bish. I'll show you something in a minute, actually, to thank Bish. My treble, obviously, I've been putting some big ones in, and I got the Bryce Young one in, but Herbert was short by a good 50 yards or so, and the Rams didn't make it. So, power my treble. I think the one thing I can be proud of is I got a touchdown score in, courtesy as well of a bit of Jordan Lane influence. I'll give him one last shout out. I won't let his head get too big. But just quickly on Bish's being very fast, lads. Sorry, going off camera. I apologise.
This is all live off script. It's
all live off script. Lads didn't know I was going to do this, but due to Bish's best bets, it was Black Friday, and I thought, do you know what? I ain't got the new Broncos jersey yet.
Believe
in Bish. He's paid for it.
I like it.
So I'm all in now, lads. I didn't get the I got the Russell Wilson jersey before he played one game, and I thought, do you know what? I'm not putting that pressure on my new QB. I let him perform and earn it, and he's earned it now. It's ordered. Rookie of the year is here.
Brilliant. How good's that? And then on my one quick, I had the one that hit was, I'm just loading it back up here. So it was the Cam Akers, Justin Jefferson one, but my bet boost missed. I had Bucky Irving in that hit all of his. Chuba Hubbard rushing yards let me down for 60 plus. I thought it'd be nailed on against the weak Bucks one, but they didn't really rush him, so it was frustrating to watch that one. And then my Anthony Richard one. My treble Anthony Richards one didn't come off either. Sadly, got the interception, but he didn't get to the passing and rushing yards combined. So no, I think I just under covered. What would have lost a little bit if you followed me, but I'm still doing all right, and I'm just hanging on because I'm winning. I'm winning 1 out of my 3 every week in the last couple that are just keeping me even and keeping them big wins I had earlier intact. So. Yeah, let's get into it, lads. Bish, take us through it.
Straight up then, bet 1, it's Saquon Barkley over 19.5, longest rush. It's coming up against the Panthers here, and I was trying to look at an angle for this game. I couldn't really decide what to go with. Touchdown scorers, they're pretty much odds on. Well, they're silly money. So I thought this one, the Panthers are dead last against rushing yards. They concede 166 on the ground. Last week, we had Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving had a rush of 43 yards, and Rashad White went for 30 plus as well. So, and on the season, Barkley's hit this line in 8 out of 12 games. And funnily enough, the Panthers have conceded it in 8 out of 12. So for me, it all lines up. I think in a game that offensive line of the Eagles will dominate, and it just takes one of those, 15 plus carries of Barkley to get this 20 yards, which I think, for me, I hate saying it, but it's a layup. I think this comes in.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bish. Looks this game hard, and you'll see my treble in a bit, and I've got Barkley in there with. I've put in a different overs on his rushing. There's been a lot made of Eric Dickerson's record and how long it stayed for in the years of NFL for most rushing yards in a single season. I think Barkley's going to proper attack that. And if you're marking out some games for a 150, 200 yard game, this is the type of game he'll do it. I'm backing him to get 150 plus on the ground this game. I am playing the treble on a bit smarter. We'll see soon, but I love this one. Bish, I think he's going to take a couple to the house. I just can't see how the Panthers stop this from happening with how good he is and that offensive line, what we're doing for the Eagles.
I like it, lad. My first one, my lowest odd one, is in the Tampa Bay versus the Raiders game. And it's my man who's been, well, he didn't make me money last week, but he got his part of the deal in and got me the touchdown on the treble. It's Bucky Irving. I'm going over the 66.5 rushing yards, and just to add a little bit more onto it, Tampa Bay Bucks to get the win. I think Raiders are a bit of a dead team. They're a bit of a bogey team because they seem to claw out annoying results against teams they shouldn't beat and then lose to others. I think this is one of them games that they won't be up for. There's not much storyline there. I think Baker will just ease through the Bucks and get them the win here on the back of Bucky Irving. I think we've all tailed him at some point, and I think he's come off again, as you said, Bish, for all of us. So I'm taking the 66.5. As I said, he can do this in 2 or 3 big runs. The Raiders are just not good enough defensively to stop how good Bucky is and how good he's looking and how hot he is. So I think he's on Bucky Irving over 66.5 and Tampa Bay just to get the win, just to boost them odds up a little bit.
Yeah, I think to get better than even money on that's a great bet. I think the Raiders' defense is pretty poor. They are, I think, more worse against the pass, but look, Bucky's been on fire. The more the season goes on, the better he looks and the more reps he gets. I think it's one of them ones, Joe, where you could be in at half time and laughing.
I hope so.
Yeah, and on the Bucks win as well, it's massive for them. You know, they're still chasing Atlanta Falcons, who are stuttering a bit. So you know, it's vitally important for them to get that win as well. So if you throw them both together, lovely. 25 carries last week for Bucky Irving.
Like it, Bish. What's your second bet?
My second one, same game. It's Jacoby Myers over 61.5 receiving yards. And again, it's similar to what we've seen from Tampa. Tampa, they're a great attacking team, but they're a bit of a sieve defensively against the pass. They give up the 3rd most passing yards. So I actually see this one could be quite high scoring, which I think Jacoby Myers comes into it. For me, he's a very good number 2 wide receiver. And I got a bit worried when Devontae Adams left, but the emergence of Brock Bowers has seen him be, again, the wide receiver too. You know, his second favourite to Brock Bowers. He's had 11 targets last week, 15 the week before. And he's absolutely crushed this line both those weeks. So for me, in a game that I think will be a lot of points, I think Aidan O'Connell will throw the ball, and I think Myers is perfect to get this 61.5.
Yeah, and the poor rushing team of the Raiders, the injuries they've got and who they've got there, they've got to throw the ball. They've got to throw it, and you've nailed it, Bish. Bowers is the man. I think Myers is going to be a busy man.
Like it, lads. On my second bet, I've got in the Seattle Arizona game, I've gone JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, over 62.5 receiving yards, and Zach Charbonnet over 8.5 receiving yards as well. I think JSN is just slowly, quite quietly, made himself one of the number 1 receiver on that Seattle team, in my opinion. I think we saw enough of his talent in college. Last year we saw even more, and then I think he's coming to his own now. I really like him in that slot position. He looks really impressive. He's open more than what he's not, and I think finally Gino's looking to him. They're running plays for him, and he's now getting the ball consistently over Tyler Lockett and DK the last couple of weeks. So I think JSN's going to keep this role on and make himself that Amon-Ra type player that's just unbelievable in the slot and keeps getting all the action. And then I've got Zach Charbonnet, 8.5 receiving yards. He's only not hit this in 2 games this season. I think the reason why it's so low is because in the reverse fixture against Arizona 2 or 3 weeks ago, he didn't get any receiving yards. So I think that's why they've gone low. They've factored that into it. I'll take 8.5 receiving yards. He does that on one reception. Like I said, he does this pretty much most weeks. I think they're letting in my opinion, the bookies are letting the reverse fixture matter too much. It's a different script. They don't run the same script. They're going to use different players. And as you know, in NFL, if you play the same script, you get figured out. I think Zach's been a brilliant running back this year behind Kenneth Walker. He had them good games when Walker was out, and he showed his talent in the receiving game. And yeah, that fell of a mark. I'm taking it. I only need to get lucky for one throw, and it's on.
Yeah, I think Chabonneau's getting more ball as well now, getting more reps. I think it was Walker dominant, but I think we saw last week that he's getting in the offense a little bit more now. One dump off from Gino, like you said, and that's in.
I like it, Bish.
And number 3, I've come to Mr. Reliable. I call him now. Is me, me sort of stash go to every week. It's Jonnu Smith, over 4.5 receptions and over 50.5 receiving yards. That receiving yards line is creeping up week in, week out now. So the bookies are onto it, but I'm still very confident. The last 3 games he's averaging 8 receptions and 100 yards a game. So for me, this is just. It's a slam dunk for me again. It's that quick release from Tua. He's finding himself. He's finding Achan, Tyreek Hill. A bit similar to what you were talking about there with JSN. DK Metcalf is running the go routes. Exactly what Tyreek Hill's doing, and it just frees up the middle of the field for everyone else. So. Yeah, Jonnu Smith seems to be his favourite target at the minute. He's been scoring touchdowns as well. So I think 5 receptions and 51 yards, I think is more than doable.
Yeah, like you said, Bish, it's one of them ones what was like Eckler won at the beginning of the year. Let's keep riding it until he don't come in and be happy with the profit you've got off it. Tua is loving to go to him at the minute. So, yeah, let's get on it.
Okay, and then my final bet, lads, it's around Jameis Winston, famous Jameis. I'm enjoying every game he's doing. I'm watching all his highlights. He's making Twitter NFL just fun again. And I've got him. I'm taking him having his typical game. I've got over 0.5 interceptions, which was his line. Which, again, with famous Jameis, I can't believe. Again. I think their bookies are getting into reverse fixture. In the reverse fixture against Pittsburgh, he didn't throw an interception. That shouldn't come into it because in all these other games, he's thrown an interception. So I think, I'm taking that all day long with famous Jameis having his fun. Over 253.5 passing yards. Again, I think he's hit this about half the time. But I think with Pittsburgh, unbelievable at stopping the run. I think Nick Chubb coming back, he's done all right, but not look super impressive. And I don't think Jerome Ford's going to be that man to really open it up for him. So I think James is going to have a game like this to have any chance. And then I've got Jerry Jeudy over 66.5 receiving yards. Pittsburgh defense is very, very good, but he has hit this in every single game. Again, famous Jameis has played in, so I'm taking it. I'm riding the heat that Judy's been on with Jameis at QB. They've hit it literally every week. They've played together, so I thought it was pretty low. On his lowest one, he's had 73 against the Chargers, another great defense. So if that's his worst tally so far, I'm having some fun. It's 3-1, so hopefully earn a bit of money on the back of it.
Yeah, obviously, Judy absolutely smoked the Broncos in that return game. Thankfully, he didn't get the win. He's looking really good at the minute. James obviously looking at. They didn't really that wide receiver one in Cleveland, is he? I know. Elijah Moore, he sort of favoured him a few weeks ago. Who was the other guy everyone got off waivers? The other wide receiver.
Cedric Tillman, possibly.
Tillman, that's the one, yeah. So I think like Judy sort of stepped up last week or two. And we know Jameis can throw that ball around. The Steelers' defense, that's the only doubt there. And the Steelers are the Browns. That snowy game a few weeks ago, that was a tough defeat for them at the time. And Pickens was riled up and the Browns were loving it. So I think the only issue you get here is potentially if the Steelers come and blow out the Browns. That'd be the only issue for me.
Yeah, I like it. Again, like you said, the first match a few weeks ago, Jameis only had about 220 yards, I think. But again, as we said there, it was snowing, so that was tough. So like you said, this 250 for what Jameis does, as we've talked about there, I think I think that's more than comfortable. He's prayed for no interceptions, honest, to be praised. So let's hope divine intervention doesn't hurt us there. And Jerry Jeudy, my only worry with Jerry Jeudy is it was a massive game for him. It was a revenge game, wasn't it, against the Broncos? So emotionally, does that affect him, or does he just hit the ground running and clear this? So form would say, he clears this as well. So yeah, I'm liking that.
I like it. Tag to you.
Right, I'm up, lads. Let's be honest. The U2 are definitely in the profit this season. I'm behind, and if I just land one of these, I'm going to be up on the year. So everyone stick with me. And we're looking around about 12-1 for this one this week. I've got Tennessee Titans with the handicap -3.5. They are. I think we're all staying away from more than one touchdowns. I do fancy potentially the Titans to win by more, but I thought don't be too stupid, be safe, take a bit of leaf out of Bish's book. I just don't like the Jags. They're really poor defensively. T-Law's been put on IR. He's done. We've seen what Mac Jones can do. Not a fan of him. I don't think the running back calls good at Jags. I just think their season's done, and I think they had a bit of a bounce back against the Texans last week off the back of the T-Law injury. There's been a lot going on there. I just think the Titans will have a bit too much for them. And the defense is all right for the Titans. So -3.5 on that. We covered Barkley earlier. He's going for that record. He's going against the worst rush defense in the league, 125 yards. Let's put a bet on it. He gets this by half time. We'll see. And the last one, we've all had a bit of Jefferson lately. He was definitely a lot better last week. And they're going against the Falcons. I always think the Falcons are involved in pretty high scoring games. And they are obviously chasing to win that division still. Jefferson's the main target. I don't really rate the secondary of the Falcons. It's a pretty poor one. Not one of the worst, but it's not one of the best either. So Justin Jefferson's overs is 86.5. I think Jefferson has one of his normal days. He'll get that pretty comfortably. And it's just if he grabs that touchdown, he's been a bit shy of the touchdowns of late, but this week could be the week. So a bit less than normal, 12-1 on the treble. I'm getting on it. I'm also going to be doing a few little ones on Saquon to get like 150, 175. I'm going to go for a world record Saquon day. I think it's his day this week.
Yeah, with you, like you said, like the Titans, they've had pretty much the hardest schedule in the league this season. So they've had a tough go of it, and they've always stuck around. Like you said, Jacksonville, big time's up. Saquon, easy said. Justin Jefferson's just been I think he's been our bogey at the punt this year. With it, me and Bish always laughing the last couple of years. We always have a bogey player, and Jefferson's been it. So I'm hoping you can book the trend here and he can get this for you, because the other two should be bankers. If Jefferson gets that touchdown, like I said, Tag will be. I'll be buying a jersey and getting one called.
You need a Josh Jacobs one.
Yeah, we'll all have to buy a jersey.
Brilliant. Well, the last one left, lads, is the obviously the touchdown treble. 2 out of 3. We won't judge Bish too much since he landed his own one, but I've judged him a little because I needed it for the profit. But we'll have it here, lads. It's an interesting one this week, actually. It is 13-1. Bish, take us through your thought.
Yeah, Westbrook-Akini. I'm picking on the Jags again. I didn't hit it last week with Nico, but I think I'm going to hit it this week. Westbrook is actually had 8 touchdowns in the last 8 games. Will Levis is finding him deep. He's that go ball threat. And I said the Jags, they've given up the second most touchdowns to wide receivers in the league this year, 24. So I'm praying that Westbrook-Akini's streak carries on and this one comes in.
Yeah, I've gone with Kenneth Walker in that Seattle game. I think I can't see a world in which they don't do well here against the Arizona Cardinals. They're not brilliant against the run. I think Seattle will get plenty of yardage. Kenneth Walker's been the man to get the touchdowns. I think I'll just I took the safe and easy one because I think he's a guarantee in my hands.
Yeah, and I'm picking on the Raiders. Rob won't be happy, one of our listeners, but they are poor at the minute. Mike Evans, he is number one wide receiver by a country mile. We saw what Cortland Sutton and Bo Nix did to the Raiders a few weeks ago. And I think you'll see that this week with Mayfield and Mike Evans.
Like it. So, yeah, we'll quickly run through the bets again, lads. Nice and easy this week. Bish, take us from the top.
Bet 1 is Saquon Barkley over 19.5 longest rush. Bet 2 is Jacoby Myers over 61.5 receiving yards. And bet 3 is Jonnu Smith over 4.5 receptions and over 50.5 receiving yards.
Boom. My first one is Bucky Irving carrying on his trend over 66.5 rushing yards and Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get the win versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Apologies. Then I've got in the Seattle Arizona game JSN over 62.5 receiving and then Zach Charbonnet over 8.5 receiving yards. And then my finest one, I'm calling it the famous Jameis Bet, over 0.5 receptions. He doesn't have any divine intervention. He gets the passing yards, though, as he does every week. And Jerry Jeudy to carry on his insane run of form that he's had over the last 6 weeks with Jameis as his quarterback. Tag.
Up the tags treble, round about 12-1 on the treble. We've got Tennessee Titans handicap -3.5, Saquon Barkley to rush over 125 yards, and we've got Jets Jefferson with a touchdown and over 86.5 receiving yards. The bet builders treble 12-1.
Gosh, and then quickly, one last one, the touchdown treble. Bish has gone with Nick Westbrook-Akine. I've gone with Kenneth Walker, and Tag's gone with Mike Evans at a lovely, juicy 13-1 odds. Bish, take us through your final thoughts.
Just keep plugging away. Like I said, keep backing them. Everyone, I want to see your NFL shirts that you're buying, like Tag is. Definitely, if I get a hat trick this week, I'm buying a shirt. So
come on.
That on camera. But yeah, please like, subscribe. Show us what you're betting on. You know, it's week 14 now. We've not got many left, so yeah, enjoy the red zone.
I think we should buy a chain like Cousins for every time you land all three. Bish. So buy yourself 2 chains, and every time you buy one, we add the chain on.
Yeah.
Brilliant, lads. Yeah, please like, share, subscribe, keep commenting on Twitter, YouTube. Give us it all. Show us what you're in on. And yeah, I will speak to you lads on Sunday when they're all landing.
Come on.